Have you ever caught yourself thinking, if my partner really knew me, they'd just know what I need? You're not alone. So many of us have felt that. The sting of feeling unseen, the silent expectation that the person we love should just know when something's wrong, what to say, what not to say, when to hug us, when to back away. And when they don't, we feel hurt, we shut down, we create stories about what their silence means. But here's the truth. They're not inside your head. No matter how close you are, your partner cannot read your mind. And yet, we keep expecting them to. In this video, I want to explore where that expectation comes from, why it feels so hard to speak our needs out loud, and how this pattern slowly builds walls in relationships that once felt deeply connected. Because if you've ever felt misunderstood, if you've ever waited for someone to notice your silence, this reflection is for you. Let's begin. If they really loved me, they'd just know. You've thought it before, maybe not out loud, but in those quiet, aching moments when you feel misunderstood. You expected them to notice the shift in your tone, to sense the sadness behind your smile, to feel your need without having to say it. And when they didn't, you felt hurt. Not just because the need was unmet, but because it was unseen. We expect our partner to read our mind because it feels safer than saying what we really feel. It protects us from rejection, from discomfort, from the risk of not being heard. We tell ourselves, if I have to explain it, it doesn't count. If they knew me, I wouldn't need to ask. But that's not intimacy. That's a test. And when they fail the test, without even knowing it's happening, we call it proof that they don't care. But love doesn't thrive on mind games. It thrives on communication. People don't see what we don't show. They hear what we choose to say. And silence is a mask that only deepens the gap. The truth is, we all carry different emotional maps, different ways of showing up, of giving, of noticing. Your partner might love you deeply and still not know how to read your silence. That doesn't mean they're wrong for you. It means they're human. So instead of waiting for them to guess, give them the gift of clarity. Say, I'm feeling disconnected today. I need a little more reassurance right now. This moment means something to me, even if it seems small. Because love isn't proven through perfect intuition, it's nurtured through honest expression. No one can meet the needs you don't share, and you're allowed to speak them clearly, gently, bravely. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that speaking our needs out loud made us too much, too needy, too emotional, too difficult to love. So we learned to hold it in. We waited. We hoped they'd notice. We convinced ourselves, if I have to ask, it doesn't count. But that's not true. You're allowed to speak. You're allowed to say, I need more closeness. I need reassurance. I'm not okay today. Saying what you need doesn't make you weak. It makes you brave. Your voice is not a burden, it's a bridge, and no one can cross that bridge unless you build it first. Silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it means pressure, suppressed emotions, things left unsaid for so long. They start to rot inside us. At first, we stay quiet to keep the peace, but over time, that quiet becomes distance, and that distance becomes resentment. We find ourselves irritated by small things, but we're not really upset about the dishes or the tone or the delay. We're upset because a need wasn't seen, and we didn't say anything. Resentment is the result of overgiving and underexpressing. You do more, you stay silent, you convince yourself that love means sacrifice. But love without expression becomes assumption, and assumptions become resentments. You expect your partner to read between the lines, to sense your emotional cues. But what if they never learned how? What if they're not ignoring you, but they're lost in a language you never taught them? The cure for resentment isn't revenge, it's communication. It's saying what you've been afraid to say, without attacking, without collapsing. Just truth, spoken in love, before it turns into something heavier. When you don't say what you need, you start telling yourself stories like, they don't care, they should have known, this always happens. But the story started when the conversation didn't. Not expressing your needs doesn't protect the relationship, it starves it. Because love can't meet you where you're hiding, it can only meet you where you're honest. And when you hide your truth long enough, you forget it yourself. So speak, even if your voice shakes, even if they don't get it the first time, even if it feels uncomfortable, because silence is comfortable for a while, until it costs you the connection you crave the most. Transparency is a skill. It's not something you're born with. It's something you learn. And like any skill, it takes practice, especially if you were raised in a home where emotions were unspoken or met with criticism. Here's how you start. First, get clear with yourself. Ask, what am I really feeling? What do I really need? Then, use I language. I feel disconnected lately, and I miss us. I need more affection to feel close. I've been afraid to say this, but it matters to me. Transparency is not control. It's not demanding. It's revealing, gently. You're not trying to make your partner act a certain way. You're simply giving them a chance to meet the real you, and the real you is worthy of being seen. Yes, it takes courage. But what's the alternative? More silence? More guessing? More walking around each other like strangers? Transparency invites intimacy. It invites understanding. It invites real love, not assumed love. And if your relationship is strong, it will rise to meet that honesty. Love isn't magic. It's not mind reading. It's not guessing games. It's presence. It's listening. It's speaking. And above all, it's choosing honesty over comfort. If you've been quiet for too long, this is your permission to speak, to say what you need, to ask for what matters, to stop hoping they'll figure it out, and gently show them instead. Because being understood doesn't start with them. It starts with you. If this video gave you something to think about, subscribe to Unquiet Mind. We're here every week, asking better questions and choosing more honest love.